Attorney General Jeff Sessions signaled a crackdown on illegal immigration during his visit to the U.S. Mexico border Tuesday. Sessions called on the Justice Department to make immigration enforcement a top priority, and he warned people who break the nation's immigration laws, they will be prosecuted.
For those that continue to seek improper and illegal entry into this country, be forewarned. This is a new era. This is the Trump era.
CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington. So, Paula, can you explain to us what this new policy entails?
Elaine, he is telling U.S. attorneys across the country to prioritize and aggressively charge anyone who is here illegally. In his speech, he cited this steep decline of border crossings. He said in the first 2 months, they saw a decrease of 40%, the number of people who are crossing into this country illegally. And then last month, a decrease of 70%, which is the most they've seen in about 17 years. He calls this progress, and he says that he wants to continue this streak through aggressive enforcement.
That is a dramatic drop there. Well, Paula, whom exactly does this new policy target?
Well, in addition to people who are here illegally, he's going after everyone in the system that helps them get here, particularly drug traffickers, any sort of drug cartel, anyone who's bringing drugs or people here illegally. Of course, human traffickers, people who are paid to bring people here into this country. And then he's also going after people who help them get forged documents, who are committing identity theft by taking the identities of U.S. citizens and making fake passports, fake IDs, fake credit cards. He is putting prosecutors on notice that he wants them to prioritize these people and charge them as aggressively as possible.
Well, Paula, how does the Department of Justice plan to enforce this new policy? Do they have the resources to do this?
Well, federal prosecutors have broad discretion when a case comes across their desk. When they have several cases, every attorney general issues some sort of guidance to federal prosecutors telling them what they should prioritize and how aggressively they should go after particular cases. For example, in the Obama administration, they issued a memo telling prosecutors to really lean in and be more aggressive on white-collar crime and on civil rights. But they also told them, you can lean back, dial it back a bit when it comes to marijuana. That's not a priority for us. So this does help federal prosecutors decide how to prioritize. As for resources, he is sending additional judges to the immigration courts to help speed up the processing for these people. Those courts have long been under-resourced, and that's part of why we have the considerable backlog we have right now. There are approximately 300 judges on the bench right now. In the next 2 years, Attorney General Sessions intends to send another 125. So that's a significant surge, if you will, for that bench. And Elaine, if you have fewer people crossing in and you have more judges, this should actually speed up the process of deportations and accomplish much of what he is setting out to do.
Well, Paula, how will this change the way undocumented immigrants are prosecuted?
So he's going to go after a couple specific offenses. If you've been here before and were kicked out, it is possible now on your second visit here to the United States as someone who is here undocumented, who is illegal, it is possible you can be charged with a felony instead of a misdemeanor. It's also going to be charged as a felony if you enter into a sham marriage to avoid immigration enforcement. So he's really going after the system. He's going after anyone who's come here illegally, especially if you've come here before. He lays out these very clear priorities in this memo that he sent out to federal prosecutors today.
Well, the Attorney General has made cracking down on immigration, on illegal immigration, a top priority. But House Speaker Paul Ryan has signaled he won't deal with additional border spending until 2018. So what can we expect next for this policy and for the border wall as well?
Attorney General Sessions was asked about the border wall at his appearance today at the border, and he said that he still wants the wall, even though crossings are down, even though he's going to step up enforcement and deportations. He called it a, quote, force multiplier. He said if we're getting these people out, if we put up a wall, his theory is that it's harder for people to get back in. So to him, he still wants to go forward with a wall, and to him, it will help him in his enforcement efforts.
Well, Paula, do you see this policy perhaps heading to the courts the same way President Trump's immigration ban has?
It is very likely that there will be legal challenges. Democrats, people who disagree with the administration for whatever reason, they don't have a lot of recourse because Republicans control Congress, they control the White House. So lawsuits have really been one of the key ways that they have tried to challenge the administration's policies. One particular area here is how this impacts children. For example, they've stopped their so-called catch and release policy at the border. Any adult who is detained at the border will be permanently detained. They will not be released back into the United States pending a hearing. So there are questions about, well, what happens to children in that circumstance? The Attorney General was also asked about people who came here illegally and then had children here. Those children are U.S. citizens. Their parents are not. Attorney General acknowledged that that was a challenge, but it didn't seem that he was going to make exceptions for those people. I think those are the areas where you are going to see lawsuits to challenge this policy and try to suss out some of those details through the courts.
All right, Paula Reid in Washington, thank you.